First tonight in the federal bribery and extortion trial of Kosta Diamantis, a jury found the former state official guilty on all 21 counts of bribery, extortion, and lying to federal investigators.
We go live now to Bridgeport and News 8 political reporter Mike Cerulli. Mike.
Good evening to you, Darren and Ann. What's next for Kosta Diamantis after these convictions could be a very lengthy prison sentence, one that could effectively be a life sentence for the 69-year-old. His own defense attorneys not mincing words outside of court today when describing the possible sentence. Meanwhile, the foreperson of the jury spoke with us, and she said she just did not find Diamantis himself or his explanations for those payments he took from construction contractors to be credible. Reactions to the verdict, Norm? Ouch. Ouch was the first word offered by Kosta Diamantis' defense attorney after the jury handed down guilty verdicts on all counts. The proceedings inside the courtroom were brief. Just after 11 in the morning, Judge Stephen Underhill calmly read each count, then asked each juror if they stood by their verdict. The 12 ordinary citizens said they did. Diamantis sat silently with two of his daughters seated behind him, the three of them no doubt contemplating the possible prison sentence which Pat has characterized as catastrophic.
Mr. Diamantis is facing a catastrophic sentence. He'll be lucky to get out of this with less than 10 to 12 years.
Defense attorney Ryan McGuigan has been observing this case closely. The former state prosecutor and courtroom veteran had a blunt assessment.
In federal court, they have a conviction rate of about 98%, so none of these things should really surprise anybody.
Judge Underhill has a reputation as a jurist who sometimes departs from the federal sentencing guidelines, ordering prison time that some sources have described to us as lenient. But McGuigan said the longtime federal judge might not look so kindly on Diamantis.
In my experience with Judge Underhill, he has an aversion to people who break the public trust, particularly.
Exiting the courthouse, the foreperson for the jury said she listened closely to the arguments on both sides. The government presented volumes of text messages and witnesses that they said proved Diamantis was using his powerful state position to demand bribes from contractors seeking work on projects he was overseeing. Diamantis said the payments he took from those contractors were for outside legal and consulting work. The jury didn't buy that explanation.
From my perspective, there wasn't enough evidence to support that those were consulting fees. He definitely said they were legal fees, but there wasn't anything to support that stance.
Beyond the direct evidence, the foreperson said she didn't find Diamantis himself to be credible. His decision to testify, she said, did not help his case.
I believe he hurt his case. I do think a person's character, how they carry themselves, and we can see that throughout, or I can see that throughout his testimony, even just sitting with, at the defendant's table, just how he carried himself and his character. Just wasn't credible enough for me.
As for the man who is now a federal convict, he was allowed to leave the courtroom with a promise to return for sentencing. He didn't want to speak to the press, opting instead to speed off as he awaits his fate. And Diamantis is due back in court for sentencing early January of next year. And coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to bring you reaction from the governor, from the man who ultimately was Kosta Diamantis' boss during some of his time in state service. You're also going to hear from the Republicans on what they say all of this says about the state of Connecticut government. That's all at 6 o'clock. For now, live in Bridgeport, I'm Mike Cerulli, News 8.